What's up, creeps? It's Jason, aka the Pope of Pain. I'm back for another Mask Morgue with Riley. Rigor Mortis Mask. What's that? Oh, you're Walking Dead today.
Oh, yeah.
That makes total sense because today we're gonna talk some zombie talk. Which I don't know. I like zombie movies. How about you?
Give me some tongue.
Give me some tongue. Oh, and more particularly, or specifically, let's talk Dr. Tongue.
Oh, yeah.
Here from, obviously you guys know Day of the Dead, or maybe you don't. Maybe you're new to the world of the Romero films.
Fair weather horror fan.
Yes, yeah. And so let me talk about this. Well, let's talk about the movies first.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about the Romero trilogy. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Mhm.
Yeah. So obviously, if you guys can never remember how the Romero trilogy goes, remember it all starts at night, right? At night. Boo, it's scary, right?
1966, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. I was not even born yet. This is like first time I haven't been born on something. But
Right.
from there, what happens after night? You go into dawn.
78.
That's right.
You were born.
Yes, I was born. I was
You're
like 5 years old. Yeah. And then from there, you go into day, and that's where we're at right now.
85,
And that's 1985. Yes. And and then after that, I think there's like Land or Diary.
And let's just pretend those don't exist.
Those movies suck ass.
Yeah.
I am just going to throw it out there. So don't even watch it. Watch the three. Watch the three. Night, dawn, and day. They're amazing. If you're into remakes, I personally like the remake of Dawn. That's about it.
Right.
I didn't like the remake of Night
Or Day. Yeah, the day one, Bub looks terrible.
Yeah. So, but you can't go wrong with the OGs, and that's kind of where we're at today because, well, let me back up because I was going to get ready to get excited because I love this zombie. I love this zombie more than anything. But what is Day of the Dead? Like he said, 1985, and it is a shocker. It's an apocalyptic, setting in like an underground bunker where civilian scientists and a unhinged like military group, right?
Captain Rhodes.
Yeah, Captain Rhodes. They're all in this underground bunker, and you know how it goes with zombie movies. It's not always just about fighting zombies. It's about fighting mankind. And in fact, almost every zombie movie has been made like even Walking Dead. No one gives a shit about the zombies there. I mean, they're cool, right? But it's more about the factions and the people
drama
out there. Yeah, that would just fight each other.
In Florida, right? That movie's supposed to be in Florida.
I think so.
Yeah.
But you know how it is, man. We're worse than when we turn into zombies, at least we don't have opinions. We just want to eat.
Yeah.
Fucking motherfuckers, right? So so anyway, to me, I think Day is probably one of the most goriest, darkest of the three films. Personally, I think, man. And of course, Tom Savini. We all know Tom Savini. He did these special effects on this, and which brings us, like I said, to a very iconic zombie that you see right in the first scene
for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But he's incredible,
and it's Dr. Tongue here, right? Which. Pretty cool. You guys can see, he has the missing lower jaw, the tongue coming out. We were looking at this earlier today, and it probably, I'm guessing it's a shotgun blast underneath the chin here.
I'm thinking he got bit and he wanted to take the easy way out, but his corpse was already zombie.
That could be it, or maybe this is the doctor that started the apocalypse. I don't know, what I'm saying? Or maybe he got a little handsy in the waiting room with somebody and he's getting an assault case. I mean, this could go any way, you know what I'm saying? I mean, just throwing it out there. And he's like, fuck this, I'm not going to jail. He whacks himself and then fuck the zombie apocalypse. So he kind of wasted it. So anyway, but I love this zombie. It looks fucking amazing. And I would say it's so iconic. I mean, the series always has the iconic zombies. We go to Night, right? Obviously, the very first, the graveyard ghoul zombie, right? The brother, or not the brother, but the one that kills the brother.
They're coming to get you.
Yes, yeah. You go to say Dawn. You got I think the helicopter zombie. The dude gets his head chopped, or the top of his head chopped.
Airport one with the plaid shirt,
absolutely.
Or Roger,
Yeah,
there's always iconic ones.
Yeah,
in there.
and it comes for Day. I would say Dr. Tongue. He's definitely probably the number one. Bub, obviously. Well, I know Bub's probably number one. We all know Bub. He's kind of like the what do you call him? The domesticated zombie.
And
right?
It's funny because his appearance isn't the most shocking.
Yeah,
but it's just he has personality,
Yeah, for sure. And then Dr. Tongue was one that just burns in your brain. You got another one you think?
The one that's getting operated on. They cut its stomach out.
The
guts. He rolls over and his guts roll out. I think that would be probably the third one.
Yeah. So which is cool. So every every film has got a set of iconic zombies, which is awesome, which helps us make masks, which goes, we're mask nerds and we want more masks and all that stuff. And Riley here has, you have scored a gem in my opinion, right? And which when this went up, I think it was an eBay bid or eBay auction or something. I correct me if I'm wrong on this. And you won, and I was like, thank God this thing's coming to Terror Trader, to the Mass Morgue. Not really Terror Trader. It goes to his collection, of course. But we get to play with it. So let's talk about Dr. Tongue. What do you got on this, man?
So this is obviously, like we had mentioned, an original design by Tom Savini, and I've seen many versions of this sculpted over the years. Most of them were sculpted by an artist named Jeff Wehenkel. I believe I'm saying that right. I hope so. And
Wehenkel.
Yeah.
Like wet ankle.
Right.
Just take the T out, put an H.
Right. He sculpted this character probably 3 or 4 times over the years, and I think this might have been the earliest one.
Yeah.
And this was produced sometime in the mid-90s. I think Rudy said somewhere around 95 to 96, which that's who I got this from, Crimson Ghost Mask Room. You guys know who that
Rudy
is.
Diamonds, man. Probably the top tier collector out there, or at least the most vocal, and he puts his stuff out there on the internet, right? I'm sure there's probably guys with bigger collections that are more private, but when you go to Rudy, I think Crimson Ghost Mask Room on YouTube or Instagram or wherever the fuck you want to see it, he lays his shit out there and he'll talk about it, and it's pretty rad, man.
Yeah, shares his wealth, would you say?
Yeah, which is cool.
And this particular piece was in a collection of Frank from the Frankenstein, which was one of the largest private collections. Unfortunately, it passed, but this piece was acquired by Rudy, and he ended up selling it. And I've only seen about 3 of these ever.
Yeah.
And this is the one that predates. It was later released in Death Studios. As you guys know, we've talked about Death Studios on the channel.
Yep. Sometime
in the late 90s is a foam-filled head prop. And from my understanding, Rudy said this one is the one that predates the Death Studios release that Jeff would have made himself, not Jeff Wehenkel. And so this one is more of a prop. They later on did a wearable mask that you may see on the Mask Morgue, because I also own one of those. I believe that one was sculpted by John Smith, but I just love the crudeness of this one. You know, it's funny. The hair is kind of matted over time, but I kind of dig it. You know,
it's funny you said that, because if you guys see, I'm sure I've already in my magical editing, I've popped up a picture of Dr. Tongue from the screenshot from the movie or whatever, and it's very chaotic hair, right? It's all wisped out and all that stuff.
Right.
But when you brought this guy in, and he actually has his, I don't know how you say it, like he works
cotton ball hair.
Yeah, you know, like he's going to a business meeting, or he was getting ready for a doctor session at work or something like that. It's all nice, and then although if you get shotgun blasted underneath the chin, your hair is probably gonna get a little jacked up,
a little wild, a little frizz.
But I actually like this. It's a little bit different, right?
Yeah,
and all that.
And like I said, I like the retro crudeness of the piece.
Sure,
it's very old school, you know. And I just saw it, and I was just like, I'm a sucker for the zombies, especially the tongue. So
hell yeah,
I said, give me some tongue.
Yeah, give me some, and it's foam filled, which is cool. So this thing is, we don't know if it was foam filled during the actual process of being made, or is this foam filled afterwards, but either way, it's done very, very well, and looks great. So this will last a long time, you know, so and cool. And then, like I said, it has that 80s 90s crude paint job, which I dig, actually, you know. And you even talk about it in his underneath his chin there. You can see his larynx, and
you can see like his airway or his trachea, and you see 2 little vertebrae. But it's funny because they're just painted right over black, so it's kind of funny, kind of crude, you know. But I love that, you know. I love some of the more caricature versions.
Very, like I said, very retro. If you're into collecting those 80s 90s masks, this is it right here, man. This reminds me as a teenager in high school or junior high. This is the mask I'd be grabbing and throwing on just to scare my sister, if I had a sister. Fucking, she's lucky she was never born.
I know, West Virginia.
or my old lady. I don't know. Whatever. Yes, from West Virginia. You know how that goes, man. So, cool mask. Yeah,
and interesting enough, I've actually never seen this one cataloged or anything.
No.
I did a deep dive. I asked Jeff, I asked Rudy, and neither of them remembered the exact year, and neither of them could recall a catalog that this was featured in. So Yeah, I mean,
How about that?
How about that? You know, I guess it makes it a little rare. So
I like it. We like rare masks here,
Right.
and our collection here is getting stupid.
Yeah.
We're starting to get overflown. If you guys are local to Arizona or you're visiting Arizona and you come by, you're going to see, especially behind the counter, our mask collection is getting overwhelmed. It's like a rat problem, you know,
Right.
just infested everywhere. Which
Like, you
to
should see
me,
my room.
yeah, it's not a problem. I'll take
Right.
that, you know, and all that stuff. So okay, let's talk. What do we pay for this?
Yeah. So I was throwing down in the eBay trenches, you know, and around the end, I think I ended up paying like $450, but obviously that's after eBay fees and taxes. But I've only seen about 3 of them, you know, so I guess that's just what the weather was that day. You know, you never really put a price on these pieces because they're so limited. So it's just kind of what you're willing to pay.
Yeah,
And that's what I was willing to roll out that day, and I ended up winning. So
I think 450 for this is a steal. I think
Right.
it's great, especially how rare this thing is.
Mhm.
It's I mean, once again, you've only seen a handful at the most
Right.
that exists out there, and that to me, I would have thought this was an $800 piece,
Right.
all day long. So good job getting it for 450.
And it's like over 30 years old and it's in great
correct.
condition, you know, so that's always a plus. You know?
Yeah, it's freaking amazing, and once again, it's comes from one of the most iconic, well, definitely the iconic series, zombie series. You know, I mean, I know we have our differences on what is the best.
Well, I'll say this: Day of the Dead, they're flesh eaters. They're not brain eaters.
Right.
I love my flesh.
Oh, we just talked about this whole. Yeah, if you guys
Yeah.
watch our Tarman video, boy, I went off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like brains.
I like flesh.
I bet.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I was going to do some rude jokes, but you know what? I don't know who watches this. You guys may not
Yeah.
like it. If you want me to do rude jokes, put it in the comments below.
You get some brain, I'll get some flesh. How about that?
How about that? All right. Yeah. So, well, speaking of brains, look at the big brain on Dr. Tongue here. And I think at that point, we're going to close the Mask Morgue doors.